The Islamic Revolution leader advises regional nations not to allow the enemies divert the course of the movements. Streets of Bahrain and Jordan are witnessing ralliers demanding regime change. And Iran clinches the title in the World Senior Freestyle Wrestling Championships. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, hello and welcome. This is Drama Jam Network English News. It's great to have you with us. The first International Islamic Awakening Conference has opened in the Iranian capital, Tehran. Some 600 scholars and prominent figures from 80 countries plus 400 from the Islamic Iran are participating in the two-day event. The conference will discuss and analyze the history and basic tenets and various features of the Islamic Awakening movements. In a keynote address to the participants, Islamic Revolution leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said the Islamic Awakening in the region is primarily aimed at reviving the national and Islamic values and reinforcing resistance against the Western hegemony and Zionist aggression. The leader added the main principle of revolutions in the Middle East and North Africa is the revitalization of national dignity, which has been trampled by dictatorships under corrupt rulers and domination of the U.S. and the West. Ayatollah Khamenei underlined restoration of the right to justice, development and flourishing as among other basic tenets of the regional revolutions, and in his speech the leader also highlighted the inspiring effect of the Islamic Revolution in Iran on the ongoing developments. The Islamic Revolution leader advised the regional nations to exert ultimate vigilance to safeguard the hard-earned achievements and lofty ideals of their revolutions and do not allow the enemies divert the course of the movements. The leader called on the nations to stand up against foreign interference and not to be deceived by the false promises and claims of support by the United States, NATO, and criminal regimes like Britain, France, and Italy, who looted their national riches for a long time in the past. Ayatollah Khamenei also advised the Muslim countries to avoid ethnic and religious divisions, rely on God and His promises, and to practice common wisdom, determination, and bravery in order to overcome problems and threats. Meanwhile, people in Bahrain and Jordan are continuing their nationwide rallies against the ruling regimes of their countries, demanding major changes to the governance systems. In Bahrain, Saudi-backed forces of Al Khalifa regime tried to disperse protesters using military helicopters, but failed as the demonstrators remained in the streets. The nationwide rallies were held to commemorate the memory of martyrs of the revolution, among them the 27-year-old Jawad Ahmad Hashim, who was earlier killed after troops fired tear gas to the demonstrators, calling for a regime change. The demonstrators also called for a speedy withdrawal of Saudi troops from their country. And in Jordan, thousands of anti-government protesters poured into the streets of the capital city of Amman and other major cities across the country to demand tangible political reforms, including meaningful constitutional changes. Jordanian protesters also urged the government to close the Zionist regime of Israel's embassy and scrap the 1994 peace treaty with the Tel Aviv regime. The new Libyan government troops were forced to retreat Saturday after earlier pushing deeper into Sirte, hometown of ousted ruler Muammar Gaddafi, in the deadliest of the 3 days of fierce clashes. Rocket, sniper, and heavy artillery fire left at least 24 National Transitional Council fighters dead and more than 40 wounded. Pro-Gaddafi forces in Sirte have put up stubborn resistance against thousands of revolutionary fighters massed in and around the key town. A member of the Misrata Military Council said the pro-Gaddafi forces were firing from the Bin Hamal Mosque. A revolutionary commander also said the clashes erupted at about 08:30 GMT Saturday and that Gaddafi's forces used heavy artillery and rockets against them, while the anti-Gaddafi forces hit back and grabbed rockets. Tehran is voicing concern over the deployment of NATO missile defense shield in Turkey, saying such an unnecessary move will cause problems for regional countries. The remarks were made by Iran's Foreign Minister Ali Akbar Salehi in a joint press conference with his Armenian counterpart, Edward Nalbandian. Foreign Minister Salehi said the region is undergoing great developments and Turkey should reconsider its decision. He went on to say that Iran hopes Turkish officials prevent more misunderstandings among regional countries. As for his talks with his Armenian counterpart, Salehi said expansion of bilateral relations